quarters sort that.
Oh yeah, yep. So I think we'd left it. It was so camped down for the night. I can't remember if I've changed this to the next morning or not. Probably not.
10 a.m. Probably not.
No, that sounds a bit too late in the day for it to be the next day, doesn't it? Yeah, so we'll just move it to the next. They're going to move. They're going to change. So it's the first start date, the first of Need Fest, 7 a.m. in the morning. And yep, so Azaka organises all the porters to make breakfast and break camp once everything and pack everything away once everybody's eaten the breakfast, and then loads everything, and then to load everything into the 3 canoes. So who's going in what canoe? Had we decided?
Oh, we'd sorted that out.
I don't know. That's why I'm double checking.
It's in marching orders. Under player journal. Canoe 1, canoe 2, canoe 3. I'm at back.
Player journal.
Questions while you're doing that. How wide are these rivers? Are we talking like Mississippi, or are we talking like, you know, yeah, basically?
I would say that generally like a 100 to a couple hundred meters wide. If not, yeah. So yeah, they're not narrow watercourses at all, and there's a lot, and it's not always like at the same time it's not always like an open watercourse. Sometimes there'll be the watercourse will be it'll be like almost like mango swamps, so there'll be trees and things growing up out of it.
Roots.
Yeah.
Tree roots and that.
And you'll get lots of tributaries running. You get lots of smaller tributaries running off the side and things like that. So a lot of the time it's a slow, open, slow-moving watercourse, but sometimes it's also clogged up.
Kid like to ask the guide, are there crocodiles around in this water?
Yes, mate. Yes, mate. You
Did
stick
not
your
get-
thumb right up its bum.
What? I don't understand.
That would really piss it off.
Kid doesn't understand it. So Kid is not putting his hand in the water when the canoe is going forward.
So, yeah, there's
Starts, but I don't think so. Kid's gonna do this.
there's crocs, there's piranha, there's snakes, there's tiny parasites that do things that you don't want to know about.
Okay. Is there any point fishing?
There are lots of fish, yeah.
Or lava crocodiles and alligators.
And are they edible?
Yes, well, you'll surely you've seen the fish markets in Yanzu.
Okay, and if there is an opportunity arises, Kid will try to, try his luck with fishing.
Okay. Let's see.
Maybe not from the boat, maybe from the bank, whenever we, stop or something.
Where is the... Oh, you put it in marching on, do you say? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Canoe... Oh, so you got a marching order. Marching order is Azaka, Obold, Porter, Caden for Foot, Porter, Inet and Undrill, Luhai, Porter, Tackling. Is that correct? Yep.
Yes.
And then Canoe 1, Azaka, Obold, Luhai, Cade for Fook and Inet.
Yeah.
And then Tackling's in the back canoe with Undrill and a couple of porters.
Yep.
Why is like that? What's the point of that? I don't understand.
I'm to get rich off these portals. I'm gonna play them for all the money.
Okay.
So yeah, each canoe can hold up to 6 people. I think we said, didn't we?
60 people.
6, not 60. Good grief.
Wow, what kind of canoe is it? Okay, fine.
So
A war party.
Listen, Cade is on a lower level, so the sound is not
it'll
correct.
not
Not
it'll
good.
not get round corner. That you'll just be wedged.
Yeah,
Be like a
but
Suez
I mean,
Canal.
like, what kind of canoe is that? I've never seen anything like that.
How big are the canoes? Just out of curiosity. They're like
10 meters.
Big enough to fit 6 people in.
2 or 3. If it were like a
Indian war canoe.
I would say they're about 10 foot
The
long,
size of, like,
10, 12 foot long.
Native American canoe. Like their canoes.
Somewhat
Big,
like, yeah. So they're quite big. They're not. It's it's not like kayak size.
no.
like a one-man canoe.
So there's enough room for 6 people to be evenly spaced out, and also room for fitting a certain amount of gear in as well. So yeah, they're going to be at least 10 foot long. 10, 12 foot long. I wouldn't say I would say they're not going to be any longer than that actually. Otherwise, it'd be just too unwieldy. So everybody's everything is loaded up into the canoes by just after 8 o'clock that morning, and you set off on your way. Let's see.
Oh, Phil, I'm trying to turn back from a brown bear.
What?
I'm trying to, my character is still a brown bear. I keep trying to revert back.
Still a brown bear? How can it still be a brown bear?
Oh, it's your system, not mine. I'm just here for the ride. Keep sending you messages saying he wants to tackling this transfer.
Oh, is the token you mean?
Yeah.
Ah, right.
Listen, Phil doesn't understand you because you are talking bad.
Yeah, so you are.
Probably like
That's
that.
weird.
You need to articulate better.
So
My side, there's a button that just says delete. I think you could probably.
oh no, I don't want that. You suddenly turned up on the huge giant bear on the map there.
Yeah, we'd finally have that in our party film.
Yeah. Where are
20
we?
miles long.
Polymorpher.
Yeah, I think it keeps saying something. I've not got polymorph abilities.
Oh.
Wipe me out.
Choose creature source. No, I want to like swap him back. I want to go backwards, not. He might be permanently stuck as a bear.
Not end it world.
So, have we left yet? Are we there yet?
You gotta get rid of this red big bear first.
Are we there yet? That's so hilarious. How many times I heard that question? Oh my god.
Yeah.
So,
are we there yet? So, are we canoeing a bear down the river, or are we actually canoeing taxman down the river? I vote if you turn into a bear, you're gonna have to swim yourself.
No worries. There's a mean front row.
Dwarf. What kind of dwarf is it?
Me?
Yeah.
Hill dwarf.
Dwarf.
What?
Hill
Dwarf.
Hill dwarf. For feck's sake.
Only one type of dwarf.
That's what I
Dwarf.
Well, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
definitely help. So sorry there.
Sorry, so apologies, I had to go drop off shopping at the grandmother's. So, are we in the canoes yet?
Yes, you're in the canoes. Yes,
Paddling.
paddling away. Paddling away.
Fafuk passes the time by playing his lute to keep keep all the paddlers, invigorated.
Very
Tries to
good.
compose some kind of rowing song, like more like row your canoe gently down the Tariki.
As long as it's not dueling banjos, I think I'll be fine.
Oh yeah, can't do that. Oh, barely passable. Barely.
Squeal like a pig.
This.
You got a purdy mouth.
Restore. That helps. There's a huge button that says restore transformation. But
Hey!
right.
Right, we're red off. Being a best sub.
Especially in this.
Once it serves me balls.
Okay, so we'll not need a navigation check for the first day, but it is, even on a river, it is possible to like become lost because, like I say, there's lots of the
Like
river
that,
twists
yeah.
and turns, and there's lots of tributaries, so it can be quite easy to like go off on a down the wrong tributary. Although obviously that will become obvious eventually because that's going to come to an end quite quickly, I would have thought. Right, anyway, so is anybody wanting to do anything particular while you're en route down the river? What
No,
did we
keep an eye out for
Outside and drown.
anything that looks particularly dangerous or going to attack us.
Wow, that'd be the jungle in general, I think.
Yeah, my eyes will be twitching all the time.
I sort of chat to Cade about tactics for when at camp, like Lumen's tiny hut.
Mm-hmm.
Just like to work out specifics of how it actually works, because I think it says you can only have so many people stay in it, right?
Can.
But it says that whoever's in the area when you cast it can pass in and out of it freely.
Yes, true.
So my thinking
Apart from
is,
Cade.
yeah, apart from Cade, thank you. So my thinking is that when we set up camp, we set it up so that everybody's in the space when it's cast, and then when we're not being attacked, they go out and camp like normal. But if there's an attack, they all leg it into Learman's tiny hut for protection. I mean, it'll be cramped, and we won't plan on staying like that, but at least we don't lose people.
No, it doesn't work like that. So basically, the spell fails if its area includes a larger creature or more than 9 creatures.
Oh, is that it? So that's your limit.
Yeah. So you are trying to twist it, but it's not possible.
Yeah. It is. This is why we have these discussions while we're idly paddling our way down the river.
That's fine. I mean, I like the idea, but unfortunately, it doesn't work.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so you've been going along down the river or up the river for a few hours, and you notice there's some trees that are different from just the same thing that's been going past minute after minute. You notice what look like some kind of fruit trees overhanging on one side of the river, and dangling from them are a few tan-coloured, wrinkled, oval-shaped looking fruits.
The food does not give a shit.
And there's like a patch of these across in this protruding out of the jungle and overhanging the river.
Do they look like vampires upside down?
Do they look like vampires upside down?
I mean, hanging like bats.
No, it looks like a large sort of mango-sized fruit.
It's the guide. What are they?
Are you in with the guide? Right, so the guide can make a wilderness check.
Can't we just shout at each other? I mean, we're just in canoes.
Yes, you could shout back and forth, yeah.
What check would it be, Phil? Nature or survival or what? Can I make one as well?
You can, but yours will be at disadvantage because you are still not fully versed in the flora and fauna yet. But yeah, so Azaka, I still can't remember her second name. Azaka tells you that it is a fruit called a maracuja. She tells you it's a bit like a passion fruit.
Is it edible?
It can be edible if it's fully ripe. Otherwise, it can be quite deadly if it's eaten when it's not fully ripe.
How do you know when they're fully ripe?
They become wrinkled. They look like they've almost like they've gone off.
Man balls.
Yeah.
That look like old man balls. They're ready to eat.
Listen, I told you something. How do you
Looks
know
like a huge.
how an old man balls looks like? I mean, are you old? Or do you check other people's balls?
It looks like a huge prune.
This is a side of
I'm really curious.
a hidden side of a
Just
food
laughing too
you're
hard.
not you probably don't want to know about.
Phil, is it possible that kid starts to write some kind of journal about this? I make notes of this.
Yep, you can. You
I
can physically make a journal of it if you like in the actual journal pen. But yes, of course you can.
I mean, just
Why
to try
can
to remember this information in the future.
I mean, are they like mango book sized? So
Yes.
okay.
You should tell us to look out for something.
Dry fruit.
So she said some of the tips she gave you. She said she said to be cautious about entering a goblin village because there are legends of goblin villagers flying through the air
Like meteors.
like meteors. She said you should be respectful of the dinosaurs because they are Ubtuao's children. And she also told you of Ryath roots. That she can identify them on sight. And these roots, when consumed, turned into like brewed into a kind of tea, they make you stronger. And the more you eat, the better. Though they're quite rare.
I leave fruit alone. I'll file it away in case I'm desperate later, but I don't want to run the risk of
No, I don't know.
terminal
Is there
diarrhea right now.
is there any way that she can help me out with my herbalism while she's guided? I'll ask her if that's something.
She says she could, but not really. While she's, if you wanted to function as a guide to look out for things, she can point the odd things out. So you can, if you speak to Dan, he will tell you on the sort of passive kind of way we work this out. And I can't remember if we said something similar, but yeah, Dan, I think you've got all the details of how that works, haven't you?
I have.
So if you can pass that on to share that with Kieran, that's how it'll work. Why can I not open the configuration for stupid thing? Right, I'm just going to have to reload the application because it's. Why are you doing that? Let's close all the windows now. Fantastic. Right, yeah. Configure. Right, now I can see it. So, want to do anything else?
No.
Nope.
Right.
I'll
Alt.
just keep strumming my instrument to keep myself and everyone around me entertained. Oi, oi, oi. Bad for worse.
Okay. So I've got to use intelligence for the passive one.
Sorry?
No, it's wisdom usually.
Well, my herbalism uses wisdom.
Oh, sorry, talking about herbalism.
Yeah, for the passive one. Is that right, Dan? That it has to use intelligence?
This is what me and Phil discussed, yeah.
Because you learn. You're not actually using the skill. You're learning it. You're learning. So you use intelligence because you're learning.
Why is it only 4
Because
15 like the other one?
So that's what I was just typing out here. So the
Oh,
passive one is 1 a day. So you do a check once a day regardless of what's happened. But the other one underneath is the actual check. So once you've got 4 out of 4 on the intelligence DC 10, that counts as 1 automatic win for your other one. But you can still roll for your the actual jungle one if once a day sort of thing, or if you've got or if there's a guide or something. So yeah, 4 of the passive ones equals 1 of the ones underneath it. That makes sense. And that's why the wisdom one's hard. It's minimum. And unless there's somebody actively helping you trying to learn that fucking guide, then you don't actually roll that. And you've got to spend proper time doing it. Just like a full day event. But the passive one just happens once a day.
What's the difficulty class?
For the intelligence one, the passive one for me was 10, and the wisdom was 15. The jungle one. I'm not sure if it's safe for your herbalism, I would imagine it.
Yeah, I'd imagine the same.
Anyway, that's what I'm going.
I'll probably chit chat to Azaka if she's not sort of talking to the other two about herbs and other boring stuff, then just chit chat. Yeah, where she's from, what she's doing, how she guide, family guides, that kind of stuff.
Just trying to find the thing again. Pardon me. Let's close all my stupid windows again.
But nothing's unless it's mildly interesting. I'll just be like passing time.
Or that passive one.
I like to make a drawing of the boats and the river.
Azaka Stormfang. That's a name. Sorry, what did you say, Estran?
I like to make a drawing in my journal about the boats, the people, and the river.
Okay.
Why this is happening.
Supplemental material. Sorry, I'm just having to reopen all the information windows that I needed open that Foundry kindly closed for me without asking.
Sometimes I have some kind of static noise from you, Phil. But sometimes it stops. Noise stops.
Might be me just mumbling.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
I have a
fine.
tendency to mumble when I'm not. Yeah, so I was just saying that I'm having to reopen all these information windows that I needed open, that Foundry, for some reason, decided it was going to close them all.
I just shut down one tab
Sorry?
So I just had an issue where it shut down one tab of my browser, so I've got no internet.
Right. Okay. So don't give me that shit.
Boogie.
Right, yeah, she's happy to talk to like pass the time talking about things. Although there's when there's breaks in a concentration when she's not sort of paying attention, watching out for hazards and dangers and doing a job. She's happy to intersperse those quiet moments with anecdotes and bits of information, sort of background information about her that she's prepared to impart. Admittedly, it's sketchy and light, and she doesn't go into a great deal of detail, and it's certainly nothing that beyond what she's already told. She seems to have an intense dislike of these so-called terrorfolk that she attributes to stealing this mask, this family heirloom. So, is anybody else wanting to do anything?
No.
No, we are good.
Paddle.
Right, so just after midday, Azaka announces that she would like to go ashore for an hour because she wants to search for some, see if she can scavenge some supplies.
She asking or is she telling?
Both really. You know, you're paying your foot in the bill, but she wants to go ashore.
She wants anyone to go with her.
Says no, that's not necessary. If you want to go, yeah, of course, if you want to come ashore as well.
Oh, so we're all going ashore, and then she's heading into the jungle, or are we just waiting on the river and then just coming back?
Well, you can do whichever you please. So she's just said that she would like to go ashore so she can scavenge for some materials that she's after.
Okay, yeah, fine by me.
Our sister, if that's alright, Phil.
You what? Sorry,
Our sister, I'll go with her.
you're gonna go with her? Okay.
I don't think it's a good idea we all go in case Marty gets attacked, but she gets attacked before.
Luke's not going into the jungle if he can help it. He'll kick back, have something to drink, eat some food.
Okay. How about Obald? It might be a good opportunity to learn from her experience.
Yeah, that's what we're thinking. Go with her.
Okay. So Obald and Tacklin are going to accompany Azaka. So once when you get close to shore of the river, you're forced to like hack your way through all the mangroves and other undergrowth. Oh, the plant life, the plant life is just really thick, almost forming an almost impenetrable wall along the banks of the rivers. So it takes a good 15-20 minutes hacking with machetes through all this until she can actually get from the shallows of the riverbank actually into the jungle itself.
Nice.
So once that is done, she advises that you situate the canoes a few 10 yards or so from the bank to avoid any unwanted attention.
Makes sense.
But she does. She warns you to keep an eye on the. Always keep an eye on the river, and keep an eye on the skies as well
Why? Why?
Guys,
for potential hazards.
The Terrafog.
Like what?
Like things in the river. There's the crocodiles. There's like river dinosaurs. There's flying threats. Just the terrafolk for one.
So are you saying the crocs are not the biggest threat?
I wouldn't say they were the biggest danger in the river now.
Kid is shitting himself.
Just don't fall in the water.
I'm trying not to.
Luke's thinking now.
So she says it's up to you. She advises you sit like about 10 yards or so off, away from the edges of the river.
Oh,
So, but
okay.
that carries with it its own problems because by being out in the river you are exposed, easily spotted from the air as well. But there are more threats in the water and on the land than they are in the air. So she leaves that with you anyway to decide what you want to do.
Yeah, Kid needs a longer fishing tackle then, because you said 10 feet. You know, my fishing rod is less than 10 feet. How am I supposed to fish?
With a line? You've got an actual line on it.
I know, but
Mum's going to go funny.
Or have you been getting fishing wrong all the time? You've just been hitting the fish with the stick.
yeah, I tried to beat them off. Yeah.
You do what to him? That's not how you
Don't
catch
say
a
that.
fish.
Don't
Chin
say
them
that.
off.
Don't beat them off. That's something totally different.
Okay, I don't know what that means. It has any hidden meaning, so English is not first language. So whoever is watching this, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Yeah. So what Kate will do the fishing, carefully measure 12 feet from the bank, from the water edge,
Uh huh.
and he will fish from there. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So what you're going to do with the other two canoes? Where are you going to place them? You decide. Let me know. And meanwhile, Azaka and Obold and Tackling disappear into the jungle.
Never to be seen again.
Possibly.
Sorry, what do you mean? What do we do with the other canoes? I assume all three we park up on the riverbank.
So you're parking on the riverbank, not like out on the river.
No, I think we'll all head on to land.
Oh, so you're getting out. You're disembarking from the canoes.
Well, yeah, I mean, unless someone says anything different, it makes zero sense to me to have two canoes drifting on the river in the open blazing sun while one canoe's somewhere over there.
Back in the shower, wouldn't
Yeah, we'd all go ashore.
Okay.
We'll go ashore, set up a small campfire, cook some food, chillax, stretch our legs. Not too far.
Okay. Right. Oh, stupid. That's not supposed to be on that. That's supposed to be for that.
it? Stop
Dial
turning
F.
so when we're going into the jungle to turn into a direwolf for the perception increase.
Okay.
Heat sensors. Sight and smell.
That's why I did that. Let's do it again. Okay. Right. So, I think I enabled it so you can polymorph yourself actually.
I think that was the last time though. I think you've upgraded this. So I'll try again. But yeah, I'll try.
Pardon me.
Oh,
No, I ain't got permissions.
I'll
Yeah.
cast Pass Without Trace over altogether as well.
Okay. Open permissions. Strange, doesn't seem to be there anymore. And that has disappeared as well.
For the sake of this, assume I'm a direwolf. We need to do something
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. Yeah, it's not. It's only a visual thing on the tokens. It's a lot of faffing around just for a visual thing. Oh, there it is.
Sorry, it's healing and smell, not sight and smell.
Hearing and smell. Right, I thought it said healing and smell.
So basically, if someone farts, you can smell it and hear it better.
Yeah, when he is.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
Okay. Get that out of my face. So that way. All right. Okay. So tackling Orbald, you follow Azaka along. She's like checking the undergrowth and looking under bushes and things. She tells you that she's looking for something called featherskin, which is the petals of a kind of an orchid type thing. Maybe? Yeah, sort of a pale blue orchid-like flower. It tends to grow in sort of hidden, sort of shaded spots.
My type of spot.
She tells you it's got curative powers if used correctly.
Sounds handy.
I'll follow her instructions then and keep an eye out.
Okay, so eventually she managed to find some, and she harvests about a dozen petals or so. You notice that she doesn't take everything. She only maybe takes less than half of what she actually finds.
Okay, that's to allow it to regrow.
And she scribbles some notes on like a scrap of paper, which she stuffs inside a pouch on a belt along with the petals. So then she turns to right. We can go back now.
Okay.
So you can both. I shall both allow you one of those checks.
The passive one or the normal one?
It will be the passive one because you've only been out with her for an hour. So, ooh, 20.
Beautiful.
Because the other one's for not so good. The other one's for like a full day of training, isn't it? Yeah. Right.
Special for it from 20?
No.
I mean, there's a
Just
druid,
feel good about it.
There's locate animals and plants, so if you wanted to make some easy cash, once you've got that spell, you can just basically cast and it tells you within 5 miles if there's any of those things around here.
Worth knowing.
Okay, so it's about midday-ish. That's not been going. So it's almost 1:30 in the afternoon, and Azaka and the other two return. She looks a little bit perturbed when she finds you camped on the riverbank. She says, I thought I suggested waiting out on the river. She nods. Yes, that would have
I
been.
misunderstood. There was lots of talking, and I lost track. Sorry about that. Okay.
I'm here only on an advisory capacity, of course. If you want to get yourselves killed, it certainly makes my the term of our contract much shorter.
Yeah, top tip. When people say lots of stuff to me, I tend to struggle to follow the train. So if you just like you very clear, then no problems.
Okay, so unless there's anything else,
No,
no?
we're
Anybody?
cool.
No?
We all had some food and stuff. So if you guys want to have a quick snack,
Oh yeah.
and get going, because we need to make sure
So,
that we're drinking.
so Azaka says she'll eat once she's out on the boat. She says, unless we have to camp in the jungle, it's a really bad idea to be setting up a fire and cooking food because you're just going to attract everything the nearby towards to your where you camp, where you're cooking.
Well, we're not going to need a fire, are we? We'll use this thing as good dirt.
Yeah, but that's not what was happening then.
No, but that's not what we were doing.
Yeah.
We lit the fire and everything.
Yeah.
Good to know, says Fafuk, who's never been in the jungle before.
Okay. Right. So, like I say, if there's nothing else, get the canoes back out on the river and set it off again. So it's on the canoe. It's 2 hexes a day, is it not? So you'd already travelled 1 hex. So that's fine. And there. That thing is really big. Okay. Some notes just went drifting off. Okay, so as the day comes to a close, well, it's probably about a couple of hours, an hour, or possibly 2 hours before sunset, and Azaka says that you should get ashore so you've got plenty of time to clear an area to camp and make all the preparations you need to make so as to make the camp as safe as possible. Like clearing all the area, making sure there's nothing dangerous within the area you're going to camp, clearing out any potentially venomous spiders and or snakes and poisonous spiders and things like that, dangerous plant life, and also making a clear route back to the river so that if you have to make a quick exit, you want to be able to make a quick exit back onto the canoes, not running in a random direction into the jungle. So, and I believe you've already got up. Is the watch system still the same? Are you altering it considering the makeup of your expedition party?
No, I think we're keeping it the same. Fafuk settles down, and if he gets 10 minutes, we'll cast detect poison and disease. It should detect any poisonous plants, venomous animals, anything like that. So I can do a sort of a slow patrol of the camp
Okay.
area.
Right, yeah. So you're able to help Azaka clear any potential hazards from the immediate area, which she appreciates. She might let you know that she appreciates that your assistance.
We do have a list of instructions that we usually do when we set them.
Yeah, that's why I was just checking it and not altered. So set up Layman's tiny hut, which of course is not going to be for everybody. So everybody else is going to be. So you might need to make some adjustments because of course the others, the porters and whatever, are going to be in tents.
How many people have we got with us?
So you've got 6 porters, I believe.
Yeah, plus Azaka, plus
Inez.
Inet and
and
the
the half orc silver tusk.
yeah,
God, yeah, forgot about half.
Undrill Silvertusk, I
Yeah.
believe is it.
Is that 12?
6, 5 of you.
9. It has to be 9.
So we could have Silver Tusk and Azaka and
And Annette.
Inet.
Depending on the watch,
We
could we not have more than one? You know, we could just swap out because we didn't we just say that we could have?
Oh no,
Yeah,
it has to.
nine.
Hang on. It has to be 9 medium-sized creature with you. So it's actually 10. Myself and 9 more.
You can't swap them out. It has to be the one. They have to be inside, and if you have more than that inside, it just doesn't work in the area. It won't work.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying, Lee?
did we bring 5 sedan chairs as well?
and a sandcastle. We are building a sandcastle.
5 palm fronds for the porters.
Okay, so you got the hut, the layman's tiny hut set up, and you've got the 2. So the tents are 2-man tents, I believe, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yep. So you got 6 porters. So you got 3 tents at least
Yeah.
set up, possibly 4 because to put all the equipment in. Obviously, you just don't want to leave that laid around exposed.
Yeah.
I presume you've got enough tents.
Yeah, we did. We've done those.
We exhaustively bought enough tents.
Okay. And you bought all the stuff. How many days worth of insect repellent salve did you get? Like I say, somebody needs to be responsible for all this stuff and to keep track of it. So you need to decide who amongst you is going to be responsible for keeping track of that and deducting.
I've got 20 days worth of the incense repellent and
Didn't
2
you
lots
guys
of
run a
grease salve.
spreadsheet? Didn't you guys get a spreadsheet?
I put a list.
So I've got 2 lots of salve with 20 applications
Ev-
that last 24
Everyone's
hours.
everyone's got 2 lots of insect repellent.
Yeah, like I say, I'm not interested. I'm not particularly interested. All I want to impress upon you is that somebody needs to be responsible for that and keep track of it and deduct it as it's used.
And I think
What?
we actually don't need a full day of supply per day because we are spending time inside the hut and there is no insect there.
No, but the porters would.
Yeah.
Not outside.
Porters would, but no, I'm talking about our side.
Yeah, plus if you want to.
Yeah, but
if you
it lasts for 24 hours anyway.
Yeah, so there's no point like not doing
Okay,
it.
okay, fine. It was just the idea.
Pretty sure we bought it for the porters as well.
Yeah,
Yep,
Yeah,
we did.
we bought 2 lots for everyone.
like I say, all I'm saying is, so at least one of you needs to be responsible for keeping track of it and deducting it. And
So who's got the packing?
I'll do that for the insect repellent.
okay,
I think if you do it for one person, that would work for everybody, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If I just put 40 use and then I just count down for every day.
Yeah.
Correct.
okay. And so anything else that like that, you need to be keeping track of when it's used, if it's used, and what have you. Or even bringing it to our attention that it's not being used for some reason. If something stopped you from using it.
You need to do the create food and water for the night.
Yep.
Because we're using the good berries in the morning and lunch, aren't we?
Yeah. When's a good spot time to do it? I assume it's after we've travelled, so we're not carrying.
Yeah.
All of it.
Once we've set up the camp, into it, because then we can set out that
Yep.
thing to catch all the water in.
Yep. So if Fufuk settles down and casts create food and water, which will fill up the tarpaulin, which we then use to fill up the water skins, and
Yep.
there's enough food there to basically feed everybody.
Okay, so these are things that maybe need adding onto this camp setup as well then, and then we can just assume that's the
All right.
okay.
I'm carrying the camera.
Because if it's not on that camp setup list, then and nobody specifically mentions it, I'm assuming it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I'll ask Azaka, has she got any way to see helper vision at night, or does she need
Any what? Sorry.
Has she got any way to see at night without a fire or anything like that? Just out of interest. She's got night vision, dark vision.
She says she prefers to rely on her senses and her experience. You know, they've served her well up to now.
We're just adding some things in here.
Okay. Right. So anyway, you don't sleep very well. This being your first night inside the jungle proper, and it's no less noisy during the night than it is during the day. There's just you just change one set of noises and animal calls for another. Possibly more disturbing at night. And every so often you see like glowing eyes off in the darkness at ground level, and both at ground level and up in the trees. Zaka tries to allay your fears, telling it's just not harmless wildlife, monkeys and such, and other kind of harmless creatures.
I can tell you exactly what they're saying if you want. It's not very nice.
I think the little one's got a pretty mouth.
Oh, it's far worse than that.
Okay. So if all of you would like to make a 20-sided dice roll
For Phil.
before to see who dies.
Right.
And it's you. The Tackler's dead.
We just don't need to roll anymore.
Oh, a 20 and a 1 I've just hit today.
Even I beat you and I got 2.
We can swap if you want.
No, I think we're fine with that.
I assume this is not a one that Kate can influence.
No.
First 2 rolls of the game, I get a 2 and a 5.
No, I can't do anything about this.
Okay, all very interesting. Thank you very much. So you're a bit bleary-eyed the next morning. But you're woken to the smell of one of the porters cooking breakfast, while the others make preparations, taking the tents down and making whatever other preparations they need
to cook.
Well, no, she said you have to be careful about cooking, so you cook when you need to. But the porters are actually cooking this morning, yeah.
What are they cooking? What are they cooking?
What are they cooking? They're cooking something that Azaka has provided that she's caught.
All right.
Well,
So
the food
very
created lasts 24 hours,
Yeah.
I think, before spoiling. So we've still got plenty to take with if we want.
Yeah. Bear in mind, it's very bland. It'll keep you alive, but it's not It is not
Not
the you know, it's not exciting or
It doesn't wriggle and squeal as you kill it.
no. It don't taste. It don't particularly taste of so it's not unpleasant to eat, but it's certainly not pleasant either.
Like bland porridge
Yeah.
or just porridge.
So yeah. So is the anything that anybody else is wanting to do?
Yes.
Yes. What would that be?
I'm watching out for any flying parrots trying to shit on me. I'm gonna ready.
If only it was that.
I'm gonna ready a thornwick cantrip. Any parrot that comes within 30 feet is gonna get absolutely speared, making this pie hole.
Right, so go to.
Cool.
It's a little bit.
And we carry on, I suppose.
Okay. So once camp is all packed up, you get back on the canoes and set off again.
The nature checks are we doing in the morning or in the evening?
Well, it's not really at a specific time, is it? You do it at the end of the day because it's what you've been doing throughout the day. It's not happening at a specific time.
I understand. That's cool.
Right. Yeah. So not a lot happens during the day. I mean, it's quite unusually quite uneventful travelling down the river because it's fast as being you're you know away from most of the dangers that lurk inside the actual jungle. So just after midday, there's a little bit of a lot of commotion off in the jungle on the far bank. You can see the trees being shaken, and something big there just out of sight, and suddenly a huge long-necked creature comes staggering out through the trees and splashes into the edge of the river. Thing's huge. Its head must be about 20 foot up. Long, thin neck, huge body, and a long tail. But it's all over it, all over its back, crawling up its legs and on its neck, just chewing and biting chunks out. It's covered in undead, like rotting corpses in various stages of decay, just like covering almost every visible inch of its body.
How big is it?
How big is it?
Yeah.
It stands about at least 20 foot tall, so it's like, sort of huge.
How close to us?
So it's on the far bank, so it's at least 100 yards away.
So can we row the other direction as far away as possible?
Oh yeah, it's easy to keep away from it. So it's not a threat. It's not a threat to you as long as you stay away. And Azaka, suggests just keep going. She didn't really pay it much heed other than to make sure that you're giving it a wide berth. And as you pass, you get further away from it, you see it. Looking back, you see it collapses into the river. With just all these corpses just swarming all over it.
Nasty.
The other half, the orc that was watching, did she have a?
Sorry?
The orc that we
She did, yes.
How does she feel about this? Whatever she's doing. I suppose I could ask him. I'm not sure if he's done
Well, she's she voices a concern and disgust, but Azaka will have none of it. She's not going to put anybody in danger by interfering with what's going off.
Although Azaka's leaving.
Well, that's Luke quite happily sort of says, I hate undead as much as the next clerics, but I'm not about to try and fight 100 of them while standing in a canoe in the middle of a jungle.
Says
I'm not in a
it's
place for tactics.
so it's well advised. It says she says when there's always more nearby as well. She say and she tells you she's seen hordes of undead that number into the hundreds.
Oh,
So that's bad.
That's no good.
And she says that it was such a sized horde that overran, from what she heard from people, that overran Camp Righteous.
Yeah, are they? I mean, the rumor was that they moved to a new camp that was more defendable. Is that right?
She says, I believe so, yeah. But
Hope so.
when travelling through parts of the jungle that are infested, that are generally where the undead infestation is concentrated, it's best to travel quietly and quickly.
Mm.
But no singing.
Yes. So yes, no singing.
Don't know what you mean.
Okay, so again, it says it's coming close to an hour or so before sunset. The Azaka gets you all back on dry land, setting the camp up. Getting ready to set his camp up. So she does a little bit of scouting around as she did the previous night, try and find an ideal spot without venturing too far. And she disappears for about 10 minutes, and then she comes back and leads you to what's up to that? So she leads you to a hidden waterfall she's found, it's sort of a little sort of glade,
All right.
hidden sort of like on a lower lower than the water level of the river. And there's
First rule of waterfalls: check behind it straight.
so there's a waterfall and a crystal clear lake where with fish. She says the water's good. It seems to be like a fed by an underground spring. And she says there's even a cave behind the waterfall, which should be a brilliant place to make camp.
nice.
A bit clear of beasts.
Do you know about this place before?
She says she has been here before. Yeah, she wasn't sure. That's why she went to check. Like she
Mark it on the map.
could do, yeah.
Detect disease and poisons again, or anything untoward in the area.
Okay. So she, Azaka organised, gets the canoes unloaded and carried across from the river to this spot.
Sort of,
Which she normally wouldn't do, but you're not within sight of the river, so on this occasion she says it's warranted to keep them with you.
Would it be better to have? Oh, you can't. Would they be able to set up the tents inside the cave?
Not really, because you won't be able to peg them down.
Yeah. So just say Liam and tidying up then. in front of the porters.
But she's not gonna. She's suggesting not using the tents, just like putting bedrolls inside the cave.
Yeah, but we could set up Leland's tiny hut at the mouth, like just inside the mouth of the cave.
Yep.
So that it just blocks the cave
Yeah,
entrance.
yeah, yeah.
Hopefully.
That's a very good idea. So in this way we can protect the fortress as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It does block. It does stop them from getting out if they needed to get out, though.
They use the back corner, I suggest to them.
Well, hopefully, if we would need to.
You know, Leonard's tiny hut blocks everything, so the smell won't affect us.
Yeah. So
It just depends on what
Yeah,
there is in this cave, though, whether it's got any entrance going
yeah.
out the
So
back.
Azaka advises you not to fully block it. She says it's good. That's a good idea to restrict restrict the size of the opening, but to completely block access is she tells you that's a bad idea.
I agree
Oh,
with him. How about if we make the hut so we just keep like one man place next to it, so you can actually squeeze out if you want to, so that will slow down any invaders that they cannot overrun us.
Okay.
Or it,
And like leave a 5-foot gap.
yeah, and it will block huge creatures or bigger creatures.
going in first to check it out.
That might be a good idea. Yeah. So she's not been in yet. She just she just went to check, see if she could find the place.
So there's no poisons or diseases.
So you're doing that. What's it? So yeah, for folks casting like wandering around, checking there's no dangerous flora and fauna in the immediate area. What's everybody else doing? Azaka's organising, getting the porters, getting everything transported from the river.
Are we going in the cave? Having checking it out.
Yeah, I'm going to suggest that.
Okay, so who's doing that?
I would suggest probably me, Lou,
Everybody else.
tackling.
Okay.
Okay, if you want.
Yeah, I can help with music.
Rightio. Okay, so the others assist Azaka with transporting stuff and setting camps up. So there's a small cave at the back, sort of odd, uneven shape, and there's like a recessed area at the back. So the front part of the cave is empty apart from like sort of detritus of like leaves and another sort of plant debris that's got blown in or collected over the years. But in the back, it looks like it's being used. Yeah, there's signs of fires being lit in here in the past. So and like soot on the roof. I mean, you get the impression that Azaka's must have used it in the past as well. But in the back part, part of the cave, there's two skeletons.
Oh.
Are they moving or not?
No, they're kind of collapsed, not fully intact. So one looks like it's one of these cat people that you've seen, and there's also another like a much larger skeleton of some kind of four-legged creature, and there's like two small horns on the front of the front of the nose part of where the nose would have been on the skull.
Like the corpse of the Triceratops.
No, it's not. It's not something like that. No.
Not quite that big.
Oh, sorry, I'm not there.
And there's also there's a barrel a barrel that looks like it was strapped to it. So there's the remains of like the leather strap and harness on the skeleton with this barrel attached.
Does it look like a beast of burden?
It appears to be, yeah.
Oh,
That's
dino.
To just caution, because they obviously came here looking for refuge and it didn't go that way for them. Regardless of how serene the scenario looks.
What do you guys do? Two skeletons.
So what are you doing then?
Get this barrel.
Okay. What about Obald and Tacklin and Cade? What are you three doing?
Well, I'll keep looking around to see if I can find any other exits out of the cave.
Okay.
I will go direwolf and do like a recce of the perimeter.
I'm just watching the others back regarding, if anything arises. I'm ready to fight it.
Okay, so the barrel appears to be full of water, but it's long. When you uncork it, there's a nasty smell escapes from it. It's long since gone stagnant. As for the cave, you don't find any signs of any obvious other exits.
What about surrounding it? Is there any comings and goings towards the cave? Footprints or anything?
No, nothing untoward. No, I mean, it's a jungle, so there's constant traffic. There's constantly animals passing through the area, but there's nothing.
Remarkable.
Yeah, nothing that stands out.
I'll check over the skeleton, see if I can figure out some way that they died, whether it was just, I don't know, causes.
Okay, that would be, what is that skill? Is it investigation?
Or medicine.
Which side of the banking are we on, Phil? Just out of curiosity.
Which side? You're on the east side.
There's this map, northeast.
Investigation, that's what you want to do. Investigation.
East.
Or medicine. Yeah, investigation or medicine will do.
I'll be a
Gonna
minute.
pick medicine,
Just
innit?
reload-
Stim
Just
skill.
reloading Foundry, because all I've got is a white screen. Oh, there we go. Yep. Tell the way my roll's going to go today.
Okay, well, that's good enough. 14. Is that right? Plus 6?
Yeah.
Okay, right. You can check over the skeleton. You can't be certain, obviously, because it looks like they've obviously been dead. They've been here for some time. But you see there's like a big nick out on the ribs, and it looks like a blade with quite a sizable blade's been shoved through the rib cage.
What, of the humanoid or the...
Yeah, the humanoid, yeah.
Point that out to everyone.
Yeah. Has there been a murder?
A murder.
Looks like it. Is there anything on the skeleton that looked like anything that? might-
No, just like a few tattered remains of its clothes. Whatever else, whatever if anything else it had has been removed.
I'll just have another scout around again, then just sure there's definitely no other way into this cave.
Okay. Okay, so you managed to satisfy yourselves that the area is safe, and Azaka finishes the process of setting the camp up, and Cade eventually placing Lehman's hut when you're ready to retire, I presume, unless he wants to be trapped in there for a long period of time, because you have to stay in there, don't you? Presumably, you're just going to erect it when you're retiring rather than immediately.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do assume so.
Otherwise, you'd just be stuck there for
Yeah.
hours and hours.
Yeah, I need to take a piss quickly.
Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah. So yeah, this is an issue, isn't it? Yeah. So Cade is going to have to take.
Experienced wizard here, you know.
Yeah. So while everybody else can go outside, Cade's got to take a piss and a shit inside the shelter.
No, Kate will do this before erecting his well. I mean, using the, tiny hut, and he should be all right for until the morning.
Do it in the bag of holding.
And how are you gonna fish out the magic items and the money after?
That sounds like a you problem to me.
And all the gems. No, thank you. That's a stupid idea.
So out of curiosity, did anyone work out what killed these two?
Yeah. A big blade through the chest.
And
For the humanoid, anyway.
And how long ago they died? Do you know that?
No, I just know it's a long time ago.
Okay, so it's irrelevant to us.
Yeah. I'll ask Azaka if they were here last time she came, or if these are new.
Right. She says no. That's new. Although it was probably a good 6 months or more since she was here last. She mutters a few words under her breath, makes some kind of motion with her hand, like symbol with her hands.
Well,
Some sort of blessing for the dead.
Yeah, something like that, you presume.
obviously you've got two clerics on hand. We can do all the necessary stuff to make sure they stay at peace. Don't come back and bite us in the ass, quite literally later.
Great then.
Yeah, so I mean, if you
once she's done that, she suggests that you remove the skeletons and scatter them to the jungle. She's not about to take that risk.
So, I mean, if you guys are really curious, tomorrow morning I could speak with the dead, find out more about them. If that interests us.
Rather on breakfast.
I don't think you'll get an answer, will you?
Why not?
Because they've gone to the soulmonger.
No, it doesn't say that it needs a soul. But I think for last time we did this, you did say
Yeah.
you do need the soul to
Yes.
be somehow available. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Nope, sorry, can't do that. Scrap that. If we could combine speak with dead and beast sense, we could then talk to the dead pack animal somehow. But I'm not sure I know how to.
That's if do animals have souls?
Wow.
Flynn just starts pitching bones into the jungle. Just picking them up one by one, just throwing them in. That's enough of this. See you later.
Okay, yeah. So Azaka oversees the dispersal of the bones.
I
can't even take the water barrel. Weigh us down too much.
Okay,
Filled with
go on. Sorry.
stuff.
Yeah.
No, I was just muttering about trying to fit a barrel in the canoe, and it's already had bad water. So.
Yeah, so it
Well-
might not be a good idea.
Well, I'm going to say you could clean it out quite possibly, but it's not something to deck anyway because the weight has bogged down the water too much.
Though technically barrels float, so as long as you didn't fill it too much, it displace enough to float behind us if you wanted to tie it to a canoe. But yeah. Right. I suppose we spend a happy night there. Paul.
Yep. And indeed, you spend a much better night there. It's quite obviously it's quieter in the cave. It's cooler. So yeah, it's all good. So get a good night's sleep without any kind of interruption, apart from having taking your turn on the watch. So yeah, you wake the next day refreshed. A lot of most supporters take advantage of the waterfall and the pool to take a swim and a bath.
I'm going to say we're just doing a shift.
And can let me see where is it? I can do it from here. Boom, 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 boom.
Fall the stone.
Can everybody make a perception roll?
Do I get advantage on possibly being a doubt?
No, it's the next morning.
I told you I could see how this was going to go with my rolls.
So you need to advance to the next morning. Why's that not working? Work. Piece of crap. Why is that? Oh my god.
Oh wow.
So that advances, but that won't. Ah. Okay, so we need to advance it to dusk and then to. No, that just resets it. Stupid. Stupid thing. Sorry, what was that? Everybody get an 8, 16, tackling 19, ooh, blue eye, a 24. Okay, so just 1 minute. I need to get this information correct. Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, right. Just checking it's all working. What's up, Phil?
I have sent a whisper to somebody.
Oh right. Okay.
Right. Don't recognise that name. check notes.
Let me see if I can send this to you. I'm not sure if I can link these things in. I might be able to. Oh, I'm it. Whoa, I'm
Is it one
there.
of the other guides?
Yeah. You could have like whispered that to me, like, but yeah. I can't do it.
I'll have a quiet word with Fafouk.
Okay, go ahead.
One of the porters is a leader.
I'm sorry, say again.
One of the porters
Yeah,
is a leader.
is a leader.
Salida.
Leader.
Oh, Salida. Who's sorry. Based upon what you said earlier, I'm just checking the last list. Rivermist, Old Zaka, Young of Dawn. Ah, beautiful woman, 5-4 Caesar.
Bad mouth to all the other guides.
Face tats, Salida. No. Oh,
Yandu
wow.
guides.
Okay, yeah, there's a long list of stuff she said about everybody else. But how come we only noticed her now? Because she was quite striking, wasn't she? I mean, she was an attractive woman, 5'4", face tattoos.
Yep.
How come we didn't notice? She's one of the porters.
She's just disguised herself well. So some of them wear sort of some like face coverings.
Do they now? Shit.
Not like a
Like burqa.
yeah, but they obscure the face, protect themselves from insects and things like that. It's just sort of native.
Like your stereotypical Arabian.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Right. Shit. Well, was I am impressed and perturbed. Can't believe. I mean, what the fuck is she doing here?
Strange.
I mean, what do we want to do? Do we want to sort of like out her and ask her what the hell she's doing? Or do we want to just like gank her and bury her body in the jungle?
Of course not.
Yeah,
Big,
ha ha.
big,
Of course
big
not.
wink.
Ha ha.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Let's take care of her. I mean, take care of her.
Did she say out about? Did she say out anything about our guide?
What did she say?
A lot of people did not return. She said lots of people didn't return when on expeditions led by outside.
Zaka.
Zaka, thank you. Yeah, Hezekiah and Iku not trusted, never returned. People Farouk and Gonzalo are charlatans. Mashub not to be trusted. Rivermist and Flask owe money to
The
somebody.
Brotherhood.
A brotherhood. Old Azakai's got mad monkey fever. Yeah, that was it basically. So yeah, I mean,
So we've got two guides, then, haven't we?
well, no, we've got someone who's being paid as a porter, who's undercover, sneaking along with our expedition for some reason. I mean, the possibilities are she's working for herself and basically wants to arrange that the expedition doesn't come back, or she's working for somebody else and spying on us. But if she's working for somebody else, could it be Jabal? Because he's the one who arranged the porters. Or
Good point.
yeah, so maybe this is Jabal's way of keeping tabs on expeditions is sending like a sneaky guide along with and finding out what we're up to. I mean, we were very open with Jabal what we're looking for, but maybe he didn't get rich overnight, so maybe this is his way of keeping tabs on people. I mean, the other possibility. I mean, we had a Yuan-Ti try and kill us, like randomly in the middle of Port Nyanzaru. They're sneaky, so maybe. I mean, we've seen her, right? She's human, so Chilton. So yeah. Either way, I think we're gonna have to confront her. We can't let this carry on. We know it. She's poisoned our food. Stabbed us in the back, shoved us off a cliff, punched holes in the bottom of the canoe. This is not the place to have somebody we don't understand exactly why they're here. I mean,
I think if we confront her, it'll be out to the way of Azaka.
Are we all
Yeah,
getting
like-
dragged into this?
We have like a quiet word.
No, it's only he's only speaking to the folk about this at the minute.
Yeah, but I mean, pretty rapidly we'll loop everybody in. But yeah, I can't.
Well,
I mean,
Plus, I don't think Azaka's going to want another guide.
no, I think Azaka will take a pretty dim view of this. But the other. I mean, the merchant princes. There is one that like works with assassinations and stuff. We could basically have an assassin on our hands who works undercover as a guide. I mean, the possibilities here are, virtually endless, and most of them do not finish with she's here out of the goodness of her heart to make sure we succeed at our mission. That's like the least likely scenario I can imagine right now. So I think we're gonna have to deal with this.
Yeah, but we also need her as a porter, though, don't we?
No,
If something happens.
This is the point. If you lost it, you would be struggling to carry everything.
That's what we're gonna bring.
So I understand what you guys are saying. However, I'm willing to go through a little bit of extra hardship to make sure I don't get stabbed in the back at the
I
worst
agree.
possible moment.
I second that opinion. Big time.
So I think the first thing we do is we sort this out now. We try and isolate her from the other porters so she doesn't go on like some kind of mad stab fest or something. And then we find out what's going on. And if we don't find her argument compelling, she gets to walk back to Port Nyanzaru. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean,
Well,
shall I
quietly
let
the other.
Yeah.
Quietly let them know.
What do you guys think?
Personally, I think we should confront her, and if we don't like it, I'll bite your throat out.
No. We are not here to kill people.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, I speak for myself. Yes, kids values, life. So I don't kill if it's not necessary. Self-defense, yes.
Alright, you can babysit her then.
My vote is for
No,
conference.
I don't want to babysit.
Well
she can walk back as you said. Whatever she wanna.
Hey,
And then
according to her, she's one of the best guides in all of Port Nyanzaru. She can get herself back, no problems.
Yeah,
Now she's got a great big river she can follow.
it's like
Easy.
it's like SES survival training. Cool.
Yes.
I would suggest confronting her, finding out why she's decided to join as a porter. But if she does stay with us, either we let her or she intends to stay with us, we're clear that she is just a porter.
Right. So shall we slowly Should we try and separate
Just a little side note to tackling a good somebody of a good alignment wouldn't really advocate just meting out death sentence. Chaotic is not chaotic is
Bending the rules, not breaking them.
yeah. A good character doesn't
Good.
yeah.
Is that what it is? Look at me neutral.
No, you're chaotic good.
You're chaotic good.
And
Yeah.
chaotic neutral is even chaotic neutral doesn't just like dish out death sentences willy nilly.
No.
Like you did at a fort.
Who, me?
Where did that come from? I've never put that there.
So right, so we try and sort of separate things out. So we try and find a spot where we can arrange ourselves and call out the name. Salida. Fancy meeting you here. I assume obviously Azaka would know her, so she's probably also going to be very, very intrigued.
So you're just going to call when you're going to do this.
Well, we're going to arrange ourselves so that we're all sort of loosely in the area. We're going to wait our moment when she's a little bit isolated from the other porters. And then we're going to try and keep her sort of away from the rest and vital equipment, not that we have much of that stuff. And then we're just going to call out to her and say,
Okay, so she's never at any point really on her own. She seems to she's like she sticks with the other porters and she follows Azaka's instructions. She don't wander off on her own. You don't really there's without sort of physically intervening. There's she's not really ever really on her own.
Does anyone know a spell called suggestion?
no.
That, no, neither.
So I suppose the other option is, I assume we got the porters' names somewhere. We've got their names, and I assume we refer to them by name.
No, not necessarily, because Azaka kind of deals with them. I mean, if you want the names, you can obviously you can get the names. But as far as it goes up to now, they're just like the nameless people.
I think
Okay,
it might be a good idea to clue Zapper in.
well, no. I mean, it's probably easier than that. I can just sort of imperiously sort of go, you, porter, you, there, short one. Come here. I need you to help me with something over here.
So that's what you're doing. Was that a suggestion, or is that what you're doing?
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, right. Yeah, she doesn't hesitate or anything. She just comes over, and aside from, like I say, a headwear obscuring some of her face, she doesn't make any. She doesn't appear to make any attempt to like avoid your your sight or anything like that. It says, what? How can I help?
Well, we've just realized that you have the most uncanny resemblance we could possibly imagine to a guide that we met and interviewed, all of us.
And she says, no,
Yeah.
that's not a coincidence at all. I am Salida.
Excellent, Salida. I'm so glad that you've clarified that, but it does raise a few more questions. imagine. What the fuck you doing here?
Jabal approached me as if I was interested in being a porter on this expedition, and I said I was.
So you're being paid as a porter when you're usually a guide.
Yes.
Is this normal? I mean, I'm looking at Azaka as well.
It's not ideal, no, but I would prefer that. I prefer the some coin to no coin, and you regrettably turned down my offer of assistance.
Do I have any sense that she's hedging the truth here?
Well, you can make an insight check, I suppose, but she's like I say, she seems to be. She's not. Well, make an insight check.
I think she's been upfront, isn't she?
Could we not always ask Jabal?
Listen,
Can we
you should-
send a message to
You
Jabal and
should
ask him?
never trust anyone.
So she's you don't she's not showing any signs, any body language or anything that would suggest that what she's telling you isn't true.
Okay.
Yeah, but what's the reason why she's here?
Well, she told us Jabal asked her to be a porter, and she needed the cash, and so
Well, she's here.
How,
decided.
how much is she getting paid?
Well, we got the going rate. It was like upfront gold piece a day, wasn't it? Kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But that's what we're paying. What's Jabal paying her?
So I ask her the question.
Yeah. Can we ask what you're being paid for?
She says she gets 7 silver a day,
Okay, and how much would she get paid as a guide if we hire her?
same as you've paid Azaka.
Which is upfront
Five.
every
3 gold or
a
5
day.
gold per day.
Yeah, something like
So
that.
basically, she has taken out a job which is 1/10 of the payment than what she is capable of. So why is
Yeah.
this? Is she that desperate?
Well,
Needs money, ain't it?
you need money. There's no NHS and social care.
No, no,
Yeah,
I'm not saying that. What I mean, does she have a hidden agenda? No, I don't trust her. That's all. Sorry, sorry, Katie suspicious again.
Well, I mean, so far, seen nothing untoward.
I know.
Ask
So,
her.
so far, that's a good phrase. So far.
Yeah.
Right.
So
So
does
what?
does Azaka know you're here?
No, she doesn't know it. I don't. I'm not aware that she knows it was me, but no doubt she will know soon. So it might have created an uncomfortable situation. I've been preferring to keep trying to remain anonymous and just do the job that I'm being paid to do. Unfortunately,
Keep it that way.
well, I would appreciate it, and I'm sure it would make the atmosphere at avoid making creating an unpleasant or potentially awkward atmosphere at the camp.
I agree.
Yeah, but it's only going to be awkward for her, isn't it?
And Azaka.
Well, it depends. It could make it awkward for everybody. You don't know what.
No, Liza already says we can carry everything, so that's sorry for Fuchs already said we can carry everything, so it's fine. We don't need him to report. Send her in alone.
Sorry, I wasn't listening. What did you say?
Your hair looks nice, sweet.
Right, she says if there's nothing else, and she wanders off and gets back to doing what she's doing her job.
Trin.
I'll gather the troops and just we need to be sus. She's not here under She's here under false pretenses, and I don't trust her as far as I can spit. But we do need somebody to carry boats and load shit from A to B. So if at any point she stops us trying to get from A to B, we confront her again violently. That were only a suggestion.
So whenever I cast detect diseases and poisons, nothing showed up on her, right? Or any of the
No,
others in
no,
the party.
no.
But knowing this area, she could probably whip something up sharpish if she really wanted.
Well, it depends on what her expertise. So all the guys have got different, different areas of expertise and different knowledge. So some is it's entirely feasible that some of them might know of, yeah,
Unripe old men's balls,
yeah,
for instance.
yeah. Although it was Azaka that pointed that out.
Yeah, but your poisoner wouldn't point things out and then use them on you.
Unless they were really clever.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, we'll go with the majority, but he, at this point, tries to make sure he is never in the same canoe as Sarika.
So yeah, so she is in the canoe. She has been in the canoe with just porters.
Okay. Yeah, let's keep it that way.
Okay.
You know, there's one porter that might be able to handle themselves if they need to.
Yeah. Well, I suppose it's useful having a spare in case something happens to.
Yeah. So don't forget that guides aren't necessarily combatants. Yeah.
But they would have
The survive. Yeah. They're not going to be totally defenseless, but they're not going to be. There might be some of them might be, but the survival experts. So they'll avoid. They'll not get the cell. They'll avoid. Their expertise is avoiding them kind of situations. But obviously, they'll, if forced to defend themselves, How whether they'd survive a situation like that would depend on each individual guide.
Yeah, but what I meant was, as long as we know at least survive.
Yeah, so she's more capable than the other porters. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We'll just keep it as a status quo for the moment.
Okay. So yeah. The camp's broken down. Everything's loaded up onto the canoes. Everybody makes their preparations for the day, using the salve and what have you. And so by about 9 o'clock that morning, you're travelling down the river again. And this is okay. Right, so again, your journey down the river is quite uneventful. You spot some bits of wildlife, stuff in there. You spot a couple of crocs in the river. You see things, get glimpses of things off to the side in the jungle every now and then. But other than that, there's not a great deal happens. Like I say, it's quite sort of safe and sedate, canoeing, paddling along. Although around midday-ish, when you sort of Kazaka gets all the canoes gathered together to discuss what you want to do about stopping for something to eat, whether you want to eat on the canoes or if you want to pull ashore, because she's always keen to go ashore so she can because she always likes to gather do a bit of foraging for herself, if nobody else. But at this point, while she does sort of gather everybody together to discuss what you want to do, one of you notices a couple of canoes dragged partially onto a clear part of the bank that's been cleared.
Point of.
So sort of on the eastern side. One of them sort of partially drifted into the river. If it weren't for the fact that they were secured, it had drifted off.
Oh, I've been there a long time.
It they've not no, I wouldn't say a long time. There's no obvious signs that they're not overgrown or like rotting or anything like that.
Gonna go take a look.
No, most. Zaka, what's
What's
Castiglar?
what's Port Castiglar?
What's that? What's there?
It says it's an old. It's I believe. Let me just check before I say it, and it's not.
He's gone off the map.
I believe it's a ruin, but let me just go locations.
Yeah, I think all the black squares are all ruined.
Yeah. And But yeah, so Port Castellar is a so it says it used to be a port, kind of a port, but it was nothing more than a stretch of beach. We a jetty and a couple of buildings and a few huts. But it's been abandoned a long time ago. It was attacked by undead, and the settlement was abandoned probably a good 10-20 years ago.
Oh, if who gets a chance on the canoe? I don't know if it's possible on a canoe to ritually cast detect magic and check for any hints of stuff coming off any of the porters or anything we can't currently account for. It would be quite
What's the range of it again?
30 foot.
Right, so you'll not be able to, apart from at this particular point in time, you'd not be able to catch more because there's going to be at least probably about 10 feet between each canoe.
That's enough. That's enough. There's 10 foot between each canoe.
So would you? Well, yeah, I suppose you might get all of the last one. So it'd be 10, a gap of 10, then the middle canoe. If it's Salida that you're worried about anyway, that would be caught because she's in the middle canoe.
Well, that's my priority at the moment, anyway.
Okay. So you're going to do that when you get the opportunity.
Yeah. I'll be spending a long day on the canoe, so when the opportunity comes along, I'll take it.
Okay. So, what are you doing at the moment, anyway? You spotted these canoes.
Just go check it out.
Yeah. Close
So we're going to, yeah.
There's a guide on to the
Head over to check it out.
Well, she says, "I'm employed as your guide. I'll if you want to make detours, I'm here as your guide. If you want to ask my advice, it depends if you're wanting to detour from your destination."
Oh, let's just take 20 minutes, see what it's about. Nothing obvious to do. We just carry on.
Yeah, I said, I'm not your, I'm not your leader. I'm here to offer guidance and advice.
Good. Awesome. Thank you. Let's go check it out.
Okay. So, right. Okay. So, what about tackling then? So, you're in the canoe with Undrill and a couple of the porters. So, Inette, she decides to stay at the canoe. So, Azaka stays back at the canoe.
yeah, I'll stay with canoes.
Okay. So, Obol, Luhai, Cade, and Fafuk then.
Yes.
Okay. Right. So, you disembark from the canoe and follow this sort of this path that's been cleared from the bank, and you soon catch glimpse of a clearing with a number of tents arranged in a circle around the cold remains of a campfire.
Do you
Hear
see
about.
any-
Just to see if there's anything lurking around the area, or if I can spot something lurking.
Okay. What's so? Yeah. Is anybody else doing anything?
I'm just watching, stand by. Watching the
How far from the tents are we?
So let's look. Won't be far, obviously, because you're in a jungle. Where's that? Oh,
Is it that said there'd been another group that had gone to do our mission?
it says there's been several,
Yeah.
according to Jabal, yeah. Probably not that even that, is it? So
We're Dyson as well.
it's about 30 feet away. To the edge of this clearing. The clearing's maybe about 30 feet across itself.
What do we think? Fafuk says that sort of sneaks forward. Fafuk sneaks forward, trying to be quiet to see if he can spot if there's anyone in the camp, or if there's like dead bodies poking out the tents, or there's undead having a nap in the tents waiting for us to get too close.
Okay, so can Fafuk make a stealth roll, and can Obal make a perception roll, since you were trying to get a look, a feel for if there was anything. Okay, so Obal, you see no signs of movement, no signs of life at all, nothing, no signs of anything lying in wait. And Fafuk, you sort of stealth your way into towards to the into the clearing and towards the edge of the campsite. So there's, once you get close, you can see there's a couple of rain catchers have been set up, and they're still full of water. The entrances to the tents are open, and the flaps slightly, the flap slightly in the slight breeze that's blowing through the jungle.
Okay.
Like a campsite version.
And there's a nasty, and you're aware of a nasty smell that seems to be emanating from the tents.
Oh,
I like give the danger signal to the other guys and like point at the tent and like sneak up to the tent to take a look inside. I mean, it doesn't smell like undead, right? It smells like dead, not undead.
Yeah, it smells like decay. So yeah, so as you get close to the tents, you notice two of them on the far side that you couldn't see are just like shredded. They're just ripped up.
There's nothing around that would explain the ripping up, right?
No, and you can clearly see like a body in these two tents that have been torn up. Look like claw marks or knife. He's been cut with claws or knives, and you can clearly see in each one there's a there's a halfling that appears to have suffered similar wounds.
Catastrophic slashing injuries.
Yes.
I well, I have a quick peek in the other tents because I mean we've seen two tents that have been shredded, but the rest are intact. So I'll have a quick peek in those tents to see if there's anything in there.
Okay, so there's about 5 tents in all. So two of them, like I say, or rather 3 of them are like just ripped to shreds on one side, and 2 of those there's a dead halfling in that, like I say, with similar injuries. And in another one of the tents, you find another dead halfling with similar injuries. That looks like they've sort of dragged themselves in there before dying.
And no other bodies.
No other bodies. No. So there's 5 tents, but only 3 bodies.
I've motioned the others over to come take a look. I point out the bodies. I assume the equipment's still on them and stuff like that.
You can have a check through.
Okay, no, I'll do that.
Okay, what's somebody else doing?
I'm just
try and see. I'll try and find some kind of journal or diary.
Okay.
I'll have a look around, see if there's any tracks of any large predators still around.
Okay.
I'm just on the lookout, be alert.
Okay.
So
Radio. So Luhai and Fafuk search through the tents. So a lot. There's still some things, some belongings behind, but it looks. You can't be certain, but there don't seem to be a lot of stuff. So you get the impression that some things have been removed. Whether that be somebody else that's come along, or whatever attacked them, or possibly maybe the obviously missing other missing people. But there is a few things left behind. So you find some flasks of Tage and 3 explorers packs.
Sorry, flasks of what?
Tage, that
What is this?
it's that Chiltern alcoholic drink.
Okay. Is it fermented or is it?
Yeah, it's I believe it's fermented drink. Yes, it's.
Cool. Does it taste good or is it bad?
Yeah, you've had some before.
So, but does it taste good?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not paints prepared. All right.
No, it's like I say, it's a special. So was it Tage? It's an amber-coloured fermented drink made from honey. It's a bit like mead. It's common and popular it's more common. So it's basically the like main drink.
suppose we don't recognise the halflings. I'd be shocked if we did. Does it look like they've been dead for like a week, a couple of days?
Yeah, a few days. So the signs of like they've been the bodies have been subjected to the to like scavengers and insects and things. So yeah, they've probably no more than 3 or 4 days.
Okay. Shit. Well,
So Obald, you can make a survival check, I guess. You can make a normal one since you're not. Ooh, another 20. Okay, so while you're not, like I say, so the reason why you're doing normal one is while you're not you're not able to identify what if anything has been around the exact what exactly creatures were around. You don't find any signs of any large creatures other than the only sort of footprints you find are those that must belong to the halflings. You're not able to determine exactly how many though. But other than that, there's the only other like sort of signs of passage through here. It's all small animals.
Kieran's PC's died.
No, it's just overheated. It's not died.
Oh, Kieran's PC's died. Oh dear.
It's not done.